It's only a short session, this one, so I've only been given a 20-minute slot. That's all I can be trusted with, apparently. So it's literally going to be a quick refresher. So if you're completely new to Security Gateway, just the key selling points, what it is. Then I'll spend a bit more time on actually what's new. So there's some really significant changes to the product that I think have made it much, much more attractive. I'll touch on the upgrade options if you're a current customer, a couple of sort of the common questions we're getting already, and then I will spare a few minutes at the end for any sort of questions you might have. Feel free, if you want to drop questions in the chat as you go along. You'll need to sign in, of course. Feel free to do that, and I'll try and keep an eye out for them. But as I've mentioned a few times, they are about a minute or so behind, so bear with me. And you'll need a Google account. Okay, so what is Security Gateway? The first thing I always get asked is it a cloud solution? Is it software? What exactly is this protection software? Well, actually, it's basically it's designed for on-premise use. So it's an on-premise software solution. It installs alongside your current email server platform. So this is suitable for Exchange and for MDemon. With MDemon, it's obviously there is a security add-on already, Security Plus. But this takes it a little bit further, adds logging and sort of per user controls and things. So it still might be of interest if you're an MDemon user. The primary reason for this, for the existence of this product, is to stop spam, viruses, spoofing, and abuse. All those sort of unwanted email messages you'll get through as a company. Obviously, we get shed loads of requests for use for our email servers, SMTP requests, and this is really an extremely good way of stopping those. So Developer All-10 Technologies are a technically led company, and their focus is on the quality of the security technology. So that's really what one of the key selling points is. It's built on a Firebird database, so that scales nicely. We've got some customers using it for 2,000 user installs, even though our sweet spot is around 25 to sort of 50. And it'll run on Windows 7 upwards, which is quite handy if you want to install it, perhaps go into a customer site and just sort of have it running as a demo without it impacting on their live environment. It's a nice way you can have your mail routed through it without actually making too much of a change to the sort of network settings and things. In terms of the key selling points, as I mentioned, what makes Security Gateway popular with our resellers is the quality of the security tools. So Neil will go into much more detail on all of these, but this is effectively what it's doing. So it's anti-spam, antivirus, anti-hijacking, and reputation protection. So just it's multi-layer, and this is the idea behind it. You can tune each of these layers of technology to make sure you're stopping every last message that's attempting to get through that shouldn't be. Granular control over security. So as with some of the hosted solutions, you'll find it's very much, some of them just have a slider that just says aggressive or not. This is with Security Gateway. If you want it, that you've got the ability to drill down and adjust the most granular of settings when it comes to each of those layers that I mentioned. So what scores attributed to what layer and what type of threat and so on. Another nice feature, I think it's probably fairly standard, to be honest, these days in specific security sort of firewalls, is the personal emails that give you an opportunity to see what your solution has stopped that it's not quite sure about. So a lot of it it'll just disregard. It'll identify straight away as being illegitimate. With the quarantine emails, it just takes the onus off the admin. So to have to sort of constantly be releasing mails from the from quarantines themselves. So it puts the onus in the user's hands, and they can release and blacklist and so on. Also, users have access to their own sort of login area. So this includes both the ability to look at what's been quarantined, but also they can edit their whitelist, blacklist, and look at their message log as well, which I find particularly useful. If you're not quite sure if a message has reached you as a user, you can literally log in and straight away see, has that arrived at my mailbox, and if it has, if it's been refused, why. So again, I know some support companies I talk to, they're not particularly keen about giving this level of access to their users, but others love it because it saves the administrator some hassle. So it's definitely a useful feature to have. One area that administrators are fairly unanimous on is that the logging in SecurityGateway is incredibly useful when it comes to sort of diagnosing faults and so on. So this works for both Exchange and for MDemon, of course. And if you're used to administrating Exchange, you'll know that you've got very little in the way of visibility. So it literally is, if you want to track a message, you're kind of fairly limited. SecurityGateway has got color-coded logs. I don't know how well you can see it from that screenshot. And again, Neil will go into this in more detail, but effectively, you can very quickly see all the message activity from messages that have arrived at the server right through to receipt at the user's mailbox. So there's never any question about whether a mail has arrived or where it's gone. So that side of it is really nice. So on to the crux of this presentation then. So last week, all 10 technologies obviously released SecurityGateway version 3, which addressed some sort of key points which we think have made the product a lot more attractive. I'm not sure some of you will already be aware, but SecurityGateway was 2 products. So you'd buy SecurityGateway, and then if you wanted Protection Plus, this is the enhanced add-on, that would have given you outbreak protection, which is sort of spam fighting technology, and a second virus engine in the Kaspersky one. We always recommend this, to be honest, to all our customers. So it was one of these things where it made absolute sense to merge the products, and that's exactly what they've done. So the features from Protection Plus are now available in SecurityGateway, so it's just one product. And also, we've dropped the Kaspersky virus engine, so that's the first major change. The other major change is that in the meantime, while we've been developing version 3, ComTouch have gone through a rebranding process. So ComTouch Outbreak Protection is now known as Siren. So it all gets a little bit confusing this, so I hope you can follow me. But yeah, so Siren is the new name for ComTouch anyway. So in the new version of SecurityGateway, as I mentioned, we've dropped Kaspersky now. We also have we have a new virus engine, and that is the one by the same company, Siren. So Siren are now providing us with our spam outbreak protection and our primary virus engine. This is all included in the one product. That is backed up by ClamAV, but the heavy lifting, as it were, is done by the Siren engine, which, although it's only with the release of this product that I've done a bit of homework and got to understand sort of how much exposure there's been, or how established Siren are, but they are behind a lot of the big players. So as you can see, you've got the logos down there. Google, Microsoft, all integrate them with their platform, specifically their AV offering, and the same for McAfee. I believe there's some sort of desktop. I think it's a desktop solution that includes the Siren engine. Sorry, but yeah, it looks fantastic anyway. In our tests, it looks really good. I've literally just had a review through from someone from a sort of security specialist company who've looked at it, and they seem to be pretty impressed. So I'll circulate that. But the important thing is it's sort of geared up for looking after or taking care of the the new threats we're seeing. So I'm sure you're all familiar with CryptoLocker attacks and things. I don't think anyone can guarantee 100% detection, but this does. It's got 0-hour detection. I've just noticed I've written 0 detection, which is not a particularly great feature. 0-hour protection for new threats, that should be. Effectively, it references a global database and so enabling it to spot spikes globally in message patterns. So very quickly it can yeah, very quickly it can detect them and make sure they're not delivered to users. This is a major breakthrough for me personally. Having spoken to lots of partners, you may be aware that in the past, Security Gateway has been sold in set increments, so it's 6, 12, 25, 50. If you were to have bought a 250 user license and you wanted one more user, you'd have then had to buy the 500 user license, which I wasn't, it wasn't great. This is fantastic. They've now introduced basically per user pricing. So when you sell it to a customer, it's a minimum of 5, and then you can have individual increments after that. So whatever you want, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's fine. If you want to add any users, it's always a minimum of 5, but the main thing is we've got this much more granular model now. So, and I think, to be honest, this reflects probably the way a lot of you guys are doing business now, where you're charging your customers, on a per user basis. Not everyone, but I know it does work for some. Also, with this rather subtle slide illustrates that there's been a price reduction as well. So effectively, Security Gateway now costs an awful lot less. It was part of a review. All 10 technologies, a developer have sort of done a review of the market, looked at the key competitors, of which you can see some logos there, and realised that really it's a great product and it needs to be a little bit more competitive on the price though, and that's what they've done. So it's made it a brilliant opportunity to be talking to customers about this. I'll flick on to we've got the price table next. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. I've tried to sort of focus in on just one set of users here, basically, or one license size. So the key points are here. If you look on the right-hand side, that's your new pricing. So that's the new Security Gateway pricing. What you're seeing in the first 2 columns, you've got SG and PP new. That's the old version. So that's when you'd have bought Security Gateway and Protection Plus, it would have cost you £305 for 10 users. If you look in the far right column, it's now 141. So it's a dramatic reduction in cost. Effectively, yeah, you're pretty much not paying that upfront cost for the product anymore. If you have a look, the renewal for that original old product is that column in the middle, so that's 148, and you can see the new price for Security Gateway is effectively just the old price for renewing. So so that's particularly attractive. I mean, we still sold lots of Security Gateway at the higher price, and but now that's very aggressive indeed. So they're quite serious about gaining some market share. Obviously, as you move up the scale, your user cost drops with the volume. But another important change here is that rather than there being the renewal being a percentage of the new price, you're actually paying that. That's an annual subscription, so that never drops. That's £141 per year for 10 users, and that's an ongoing basis. So when you buy it, you get 12 months worth of cover, and then you renew it again at 141. And that keeps all your virus definitions and the spam database and so on, keeps that all up to date. Without it, it's pretty much not particularly effective. The licensing does go up to 2,000 users, I think, maybe higher. By all means, just get in touch if you want that pricing. You can get quotes via the website now. So this is, we do admittedly need to revamp some of the content on Security Gateway, but this new pricing page does give you the up-to-date pricing. So literally just pump in the number of users you're after there, and it'll output a price for you. You can see there's a blue link there. If you look carefully, view example pricing. That'll give you that'll expand and give you a sort of table of the sort of set license sizes, what it would be based on the new pricing for 10, 25, 50, and so on. Okay, so if you're an existing customer and you're looking at the upgrade options, obviously you would have had potentially either Security Gateway or Security Gateway and Protection Plus. So these are the different scenarios. If you own Security Gateway and Protection Plus and it hasn't expired, then you can just upgrade for free and it will give you all the additional functionality. Effectively, you're getting more for the for less cost, which is great. If you bought Protection Plus at a different time to Security Gateway, and in fact it doesn't expire for maybe a few weeks later than the Security Gateway application, what we'll do is we'll take whichever one expires later. We'll take that as your expiry date. So when you upgrade, we'll make sure that's the point at which we're asking you about renewals. If you've just got Security Gateway, but that is current, you do get, again, Siren and Outbreak Protection. Your renewal, you'll probably find, is slightly more. You're getting, obviously, the per user pricing, so you may find you can readjust it there. But yeah, that includes that basically brings you right up to date. If you're looking at if you've got expired licenses, effectively you're looking at a new license purchase. So yeah, that applies for whether you've got Security Gateway and Security Gateway and Protection Plus. So that does require a new purchase. To upgrade, you're effectively just looking at downloading the new version, and it is an overinstall. So you just overinstall it on the existing version, and that will upgrade the functionality. If you've got Protection Plus, it'll remove it. So it'll incorporate the additional features and things within, so the additional Siren and Outbreak Protection will all be included in the one product, and it'll remove that automatically. By all means, feel free to get in touch with me if you want to query any of these scenarios. I know it's not the easiest thing to get your head around straight away, or for me to explain, for that matter. Okay, so I'll just finish up with a few FAQs. I've got more users than I need at the moment. Can I downgrade? So if you're one of those people that had to fit into the larger license breaks, all you do at this stage is you are looking at purchasing a new license. It's that simple. You just buy a new license at the new license size, and that's because the new cost is the same as the renewal, effectively. So yes, that's just buying a new license at the point. Obviously, you're ready to renew. To renew your license, it's literally a case of going to the website. Hopefully you guys are pretty familiar with this process, but you either, log in as yourself, go to your renewals, and if you basically go to your renewals and click upgrade, and that'll take you through the process. So you get a new key, and away you go. What's classed as a user? This varies from product to product, but in the case of Security Gateway, we class a user as an email account that is protected by Security Gateway, so one that sends and receives. It doesn't include aliases, but mailing lists are included. So if you've got an Exchange mailing list, that will be included in the price. Sorry, is there a discount for education and charities? Yes, so in line with all of All10's products, 20% off the RRP is the current discount rate. So you take the discount off the product, and then you get your discount, your reseller margin on top of, off of what the customer pays, effectively. And last but not least, we get a lot of inquiries about whether people can host Security Gateway. Now, we have in the past looked at this as a product, and I dare say it will come up again, but at the moment this particular license isn't, basically the EULA doesn't permit you guys hosting it, so you aren't able to put this in a data center or host it at your own office and just sell accounts off it at this time. So by all means, if that's something you're interested in doing, then we'd like to hear from you. With these things, the more demand there is, then the more likely it is that'll happen. So yeah, just get in touch by all means. So drawing to a close then, there's a 30-day trial, so definitely download that and use it if you haven't already had a look at it. It's a new trial process now, actually, where you can just download it, install it, and it doesn't ask you for any email address or any account details or anything until 14 days. And at that point, it'll say, do you want to carry on with the trial? And if you do, enter your details then. If you take away nothing else from this webinar, you're entitled to a free not-for-resale license of Security Gateway, and it's a great product. If you use Exchange or MDemon, it's well worth having. Of course, we've got a vested interest in you using it and being, hopefully becoming a fan of it. But just the logging alone, just those click-through logs, it's really that value from it is well worth the time it will take you to request it. If you're not a Security Gateway partner already, you just need to log into your account, go to partner profile, and tick the box that says I want to be a Security Gateway reseller, and that means you'll then be able to request your NFR license. That is literally just a case of putting your item in the basket, shopping cart, and looking underneath of it, and you'll see there's a blue link that says request NFR license. You just click that and follow the details. As always, any questions on that, just give me a shout. You know how to get in touch. And Neil's running this webinar, so in 2 weeks' time, Neil will do a proper overview. He's got a 30-minute session where basically you're more than welcome to find out more about the product and have a look around the interface and features and so on. There's new marketing materials available, so if you go and have a look, there's a new brochure and there's some other bits. In the download section of Security Gateway, there's the new materials, and if you go to zensoftware.co.uk/marketing, probably should have put that up there really. So Zen Software /marketing, that'll take you to all our materials for partners effectively. So you can just go in and pull out any material, any sort of email templates, letter templates, that kind of thing. And last but not least, we are on hand. So if you're new to this or you've got questions, of course, use our support services, and I'm on hand too. We're more than happy to help you configure it, and I'll talk you through the various configuration options. So I hope you found that useful. I'll spare a few minutes now for the Q&A. But thank you very much for attending. I hope you enjoyed the new format. I hope you found it was a slightly nicer way to find out about some of these features rather than sitting on the reading sort of the blog, and hopefully it'll complement that. And thank you very much for attending. Like I say, I'll hang around for a few minutes now to answer any questions. Thank you.